So Abba wanted me to record my testimony. Well, part of my testimony. And I think it's partly because I literally left the world. And when I say I left the world, I was a person that was always been into, ever since I was a little kid, into the arts. And when I say the arts, I mean I've been dancing since I was 3, classical dancing, as in ballet, modern, jazz. I did tap a little bit, didn't enjoy it, so I left that alone. And contemporary. I then learned some instruments, saxophone, piano, and I acted in different plays in school, and I studied acting at conservatories, as well as I studied directing at NIFA, and also studied and actually did programs relating to choreography as well, and won awards in the world for that and toured my work around New York City. I also worked for companies like BBDO, advertising company, and I worked for Hot 97 and different stuff of that nature. And when I left the world, I had essentially offers to work for Sony Music. I had Interscope Music. I had opportunities in all these things. I still have all these connections, the executives for all these places and of that nature. And I was wondering to myself, I was like, why would Abba want me to literally give that testimony? Because I'm still, I had to start over. I worked my butt off in terms of the world, and I had to start over, and I had to leave. Because once I came into the truth and I realized, hold on, I'm not really moving in what I say I believe. I can't say that I believe in the Most High and the Messiah, and then still be in this demonic industry. And I realized that he wanted me to make content for him. And starting over, it was a humbling experience, because I was just like, yeah, but I'm JL, these are these things. And that was my old name, and then he gave me a new name, and he gave me all these things that I had to start coming over and getting over and doing all these things, so I can then now bring all that I've learned to him righteously through the guidance of his Ruach HaKodesh. And I realized it makes sense, because a lot of people don't fully come out of the world when they follow him. They don't realize that not every little thing that you do has to transfer over. You have to become a completely new creature. You have to become a completely new person. If you danced before, you have to start dancing for him now, respectfully, righteously. You have to ask him to renew the talents that he had blessed you with, that you were given to the world. You have to ask him to renew and give it a new vamp for him. You can't really do the things of the world for him. You can't do the same dance moves of the world for him, and my catalog in terms of my resume is more so of the world. So if a person asks me now, I'm like, well, I'm starting from scratch, so I'm not going to show you my worldly accomplishments, because that's not heavenly accomplishments. That's not my treasure stored up in heaven. So with that, I understand now that I used to put on shows, I put on concerts, I did different stuff of that nature. I literally had to put on I had to train people in terms of dancing. I had to choreograph a whole show. I had to make the set list. I had to put on plays myself. That's what I studied in college. So I understand now that why he would even put me in the quote unquote entertainment industry for him, because I'm seeing a lot of unrighteous entertainment, a lot of unrighteous setup and not orderly setup. And I'm like, because I was a perfectionist even when I was of the world, and now I'm even more of a perfectionist for Abba, because we have to represent him in spirit and in truth and properly. And I feel like that's my new slogan. You gotta follow his ways and walk in the Ruach with dignity, with respect, and with integrity. And I've realized that I'm not seeing that a lot. I'm seeing a lot of mix between the world and Abba. You know what I mean? And you can't mix the both. You can't mix the two. Abba's the creator of these shows, performances. singing and that kind of stuff. He is the creator of that. So obviously there's a righteous way to do things. And I feel like a lot of people are not putting him at the forefront of doing these things. And that's why you have people, even that's Christians, listening to wild stuff and telling people that you can listen, you can go to Lil Nas X and then still praise the Most High, and then look at what they're doing now. So it's kind of like, I'm seeing the lack of accountability in all Christian music, all Hebrew Israelite music, and I understand now why he told me in terms of doing my testimony, because I had to leave the world, like start from scratch. And that was like, boy. And I didn't even, personally, I'm going to be real, I did not want to come into the entertainment industry for Abba. I was prepared to leave all of that behind. I was just like, let me get my farm, let me grow my food, have my animals, have my kids, raise them. I didn't expect him to literally want me to do everything that I was doing in terms of that for him now. And I understand why now too, because I am not like other people. I will literally be like, yeah, no, that's not of him, and I don't care how you feel about that. You can take that to him and ask him how to do it properly. But I know the one mind, the one Ruach, the one Elohim, the one Yah, the one baptism, the one hope for the calling that is in me, because I make sure I check myself all the time, does not agree with that. So I don't know how we can be in one Ruach and you think that that's okay. So with that, we'll see how this goes. You know, I'm taking it one step at a time, one day at a time. And it was literally a tedious task. I'm not gonna lie, to drop all of that. And not only to do that, but everybody looked at me like I was wild. Like, what? You had the bag and you fumbled it. That was the word. Oh, she's lost. No, I'm found. I picked up the bag. From Wise Words of a Navio. I'm in my bag today. What's in my bag, you say? Nothing but daily bread. And it was made to break. So if you haven't ate, I bid you take a knee. No, you are not too late. So come in and take a seat. The price have already been paid. Hamashiach got the receipt. Say you can't have this place. Resisting the devil gon' flee. When the sun come from outer space, that's gonna be something to see. So right now we have his grace. So you can repent and be free. It's not my song, but you know, that's my song. So that's literally like how I've been moving. And I realize now that he told me not to care about what other people think and not what other people view me. And I see and I understand that now every day. But one step at a time, one day at a time, we're going to do this. And yeah, that is me leaving the world rough draft testimony that I have. Like, I have other testimonies in terms of dealing with family, dealing with friends, and all of that. But he only told me to do it in terms of this entertainment testimony, because I literally I was a part of a lot of things. Stellar Adler Conservatory, NIFA, all of these things. And I had all these connections. Quite frankly, I still have all the connections on my phone. I'm just like, if we're not doing it for Abba, then I'm not doing it, respectfully. If it's not orderly, I'm not doing it, respectfully. If he told me not to do it, I'm not doing it. If he told me to do it and I'm uncomfortable doing it, that's not my problem. I gotta do what he said. So, I mean, that is my problem, but that's not my problem in terms of he's not trying to hear that. So, the story of Syria.